So I'm checking out how many 9As and harder I've done in my life. I thought I had less than 200, but apparently I've already hit the 200 mark and I've got 211. So today it's time for another 9A, number 212. We are in Oltrefinale, Castelbianco in Italy. It's a valley full of rocks, full of climbing potential, full of routes. I've already been here a few times, but I climb in different sectors. In this sector, called Erboristeria, there is a 9A, really amazing climb, traversing this upper roof of this beautiful crag. It's called Narcissus. It's a 9A established by Matteo Gambaro some years ago. But to start the day, after my warm-up, I want to try to onsight the first part, which is Kalmia-Moci, AB plus 8C or maybe 8C by itself. If I do it, or even if I don't do it, I will check the moves and then try to go for the red point of the Narcissus. That's the plan of the day. The first part up to the roof is 7C plus by itself. Really amazing climbing, just really nice mixture of tiny crimps, some too fast, some slopers. This sector by itself is like really world-class crag with so many routes, around 7B, 7C, 8A, couple of 8Bs. And it's just really pleasure and joy to climb it. So I think in the lower part I was climbing pretty well, didn't really make that many mistakes. But fortunately there were also some rests, so even if I did some mistake, I knew I would be able to recover after that. Looking at it, it looked quite wet, as you can see, this black streak. But interestingly enough, it's like in the lower part you're climbing just to the left of it. And in the upper part, just below the roof, you're climbing just to the right of it. So you basically just cross it from left to right without really touching it that much. So once the rock gets steep, I was expecting that it would get hard straight away, but there were still a series of pretty good holds. What made it pretty tricky to onsight is that the color of the rock changes a little bit. This white moss that, I don't know, for some reason it's really hard to really see the shape of the rock. Also, obviously, you know, the chalk is hidden much more. So at first here, I was pretty sure that the route just continues straight up or even slightly more right. But it took me some time to really realize that you really have to start traversing left. And I knew that, yeah, I was here somehow wrong-handed. I didn't really know what to do. Then I was able to match here, but this took so much energy out of me, and I was seriously considering that maybe I would just say take to kind of conserve the energy for the 9A. But then I found this really bad knee bar, even though this left hand is pretty bad. It just gave me a little bit more so I could continue. Really tired and kind of hesitant, really hard to see where the next hold is, but I was just pretty lucky. Definitely hesitate quite a bit, but not too much, and I took just enough time to see the next hold. And I was very lucky to reach this good flake. I could find some knee bar and the top out of this route, going over the lip up to the anchor that you can see above, was pretty easy. So after I clipped the anchor, I down climbed the last few meters and I took a look into the 9A, which just starts traversing all the way left, following the lip of this roof.
So I think the first part is AB plus 8C. It was very interesting, and like I found myself 2 times almost like saying take, because like I had no idea where to go. Then I finally understood that you have to go left, even though I wanted to go straight up. I had to like match, and then I found the miraculous knee bar. All of a sudden, yes, oh, I can recover. That's good. And I did 2 more moves and I was like, ooh, this is like impossible. But then I found 1 more hold and yeah, I definitely had to fight. But in the end, it was mostly just because it was really hard to see where the route goes. So pretty happy I didn't drop it. I think that's quite valuable onsight.
So in order to climb the Narcissus, the 9A, I had to reclimb the first part, Kalmia-Moci, 8B+, that I have just onsighted before. So I definitely remembered still fighting around here, not really knowing what to do, but this time I was pretty confident that I would be able to climb through this first part of the roof without getting too tired. The problem was that I could not really try, or I just didn't want to waste more time and energy to try these moves again. Maybe, the flow was not as good as I really hoped. I think there might be, slightly better beta, but I basically did it the same way as in the onsight try. I just hesitated a little bit less, and that definitely helped me to climb through this first part with much less fatigue. But I still used this right knee bar, which helped quite a bit, because it made the whole crack section kind of definitely less resistant. So I could have a little shake here and do the next 3-4 moves, which are still quite hard, leading up to the good knee bar on this massive flag. It's pretty exposed the rest, It's a really good knee bar, but you're in a total roof. The placement where your knee is just really, really good. But the foothold is okay, so the best strategy is to recover hanging really upside down, because in this position you can really just relax all of the body, and basically the only muscle which is activated is your calf. So usually when it's a good upside down knee bar, the good time to stay in the rest is 2, maybe maximum 3 minutes, and then you really have to go. And I think maybe the hardest single moves of the whole route are here. Really interesting, powerful, but at the same time technical moves. The moves are quite long. And, even though I spent quite a lot of time in the route in the previous try, trying to make sure that I have the best possible beta for the route, and I remembered all the tiny details, it's not so easy to remember everything into the tiniest details. And sometimes you're really also thinking about whether you should save some energy and maybe skip some of the moves and, just try it just from hanging in the rope, or just try to do all the moves that you can. But luckily I think I found all the details quite well. I was just getting really pumped before this rest. Got there pretty much on the limit, but this slopey rail was quite a good rest. Hanging here, I definitely wanted to make sure that I recover as much as possible, and I was quite confident that I should not let it go. There were still some pumpy moves on okay crimps in this grey rock. This was definitely quite a bit of mistake. My right foot popped off and it took some energy away, and which resulted in a bit of a flash bump. But there were still some crimps where I could do little micro shakes here and there, and I was definitely here a bit more pumped than I would like to be. But with every single move, the climbing was getting a bit easier, and I was very sure that I was about to do it. The satisfaction of reaching the anchor after having climbed for like 45 or 50 meters of a steep route is always something pretty unique, and especially if you really feel like not only pumped, but like there is this overall fatigue in the body that, you know, feels really satisfying once it's all over. There's a nice view, and all of a sudden, you know, the pain in the forearm actually feels nice.
It was really amazing climb. The route has such a nice flow. At the Crux section, it's actually really hard to stop, so you make a big run out, which makes it even spicier. You are on this amazing prow in the middle of the roof, and you just keep going left. Just before reaching the final jug, I had to fight for sure. I got pumped. Then I got the final jug, and then there is this controversial part where I didn't really know if I should go left, down, or go diagonal. So I did, like, for me, what looked like the most obvious way, which was just going diagonal. But I think I still need a bit of clarification from the first ascensionist, Matteo Gambaro. I got in touch with Seb, who did the second descent, and he said to me that he did the same thing, just going diagonal. After I clipped the chain, I rechecked the section, and I found out that, like, going really down and climbing the whole crux of the neighboring AB+ is pretty illogical to me, and I think it would make it just way harder. To me, I think I did the logical line, but I'm quite excited to try to get in touch with Matteo Gambaro and find out how he actually did it. So we are on the way back home, and I'm just texting with the first ascensionist, Matteo Gambaro. And I'm really impressed because Matteo actually did it really going down and making the last crux of the 8B+, which is for sure much harder than the way we did it with Seb. At the same time, Matteo is okay with the way we both did it. I kind of understand that sometimes when you're making first ascent, you have this tunnel vision that you want to climb a route in a certain way, and you don't really see a way which might be more intuitive and more obvious, and in this case, way easier. We believe that with Seb, the way Matteo did it, and also not using knee pads, could even be 9A+. It's really much harder. But we believe that using our method on the top and using the knee pads is probably low-end 9A. So this was a 9A and harder number 212, which sounds ridiculous to me, you know? If I hadn't counted it, I would never believe that I've already done as many 9As. Because 9A is still really hard route for me, you know? And it's memorable, and I think I remember every single 9A from my career, and it's kind of nice to feel that, you know, climbing 9As just never gets old, and it's always so much fun.